Hey there, we have like eons of stories to tell, so if you want to follow us along on this journey and keep up with all the stories that we have putting out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hey, what is up everybody? Chad here, and today we are going to be continuing with Flash Rebirth. So this story here is actually going to like bring in a couple more speedsters. Right now it's just Barry Allen and the new not the new Wally West, the old Wally West, like the older one. You have that Wally West and you have the young one, but the young one doesn't have powers. So basically this one right here is going to bring a couple of more speedsters pretty much. So what we start off with, we actually start off with Barry's like his origin story pretty much. You know, he's like going over it and they're like changing some stuff up, right? So basically like what happened was he was talking to his friend, his name's August Hart, right? August Hart is actually a really cool character. This is like his very first time like, you know, showing up in comics, but he's actually a really cool character. So basically they're talking, right? And he's like asking Barry to like go over his brother's case, right? Because his brother he was murdered, and you know like he's trying to get help to, you know, figure out like who did it, you know, stuff like that. And basically this is where like Barry Allen, his origin comes in. You know, he gets doused with chemicals and he gets like smacked with the lightning, which gives him his powers. You know, his lightning starts like running through his eyes, you know, and basically like that gives him his connection to the Speed Force. That's where it was created at pretty much, right? So basically in like the current day, Barry, you know, he's talking about how like 10 years have been taken from everybody's lives, you know, stuff like that. And basically like, you know, him, Batman, Wally West, the old Wally West, like all of them, they're like investigating it, right? You know, Wally West, he went to the Titans to see if they knew anything, you know, stuff like that. And basically like while he's doing that, you know, he's like going over all that, and basically like he's just running around just like helping everybody, right? Like he's just going around just helping all these people, you know. And he's basically talking about how, you know, like he missed, you know, having like a partner pretty much, you know, because he know he can't be everywhere at once, right? He can't be everywhere at once, but he, like even though he's super fast, and he's basically like, you know, like conflicted with that right now. So like he ends up like running to this like crime scene, right? And basically like the director Singh, he's basically like just like, you know, like talking about how Barry was late, you know, stuff like that, and you know, talking about how like the crime scene is, you know, basically just waiting on somebody to get there, you know, basically like giving him a hard time pretty much, you know. But August, you know, he comes in, he's like, okay, well yeah, I mean that's because he's already thinking about this stuff, right? You know, like he cares, you know, stuff like that. And he's basically like, you know, just trying to get Singh off of Barry's back, because Barry like he cares, right? Like he's only late because he's the Flash, like even though like that's really the only reason why, like he cares, you know. Like as soon as he comes in, he's like, okay, yeah, I was thinking about the victims, like, you know, his friends and family, like as soon as I came in, you know, stuff like that, you know, talking about how he actually, you know, like he doesn't want to have to break the news, you know, but this is like a very sad thing to hear from somebody. And basically like Barry, like he's going over the crime scene, right? He's basically like going over the crime scene, and like August is like watching him, right? He's like, you know, like trying to, you know, find some stuff, he's like figure stuff out, you know, see how Barry works, you know, stuff like that. And basically like when he gets done, he actually ends up remembering that he has to meet Iris and her nephew Wally, right? So like this is the new Wally West, right? You know, he's supposed to meet them, and like as soon as he get there, like he's just like feeling bad the entire time. You know, he's talking about, oh, I should have been here, I'm sorry, you know, stuff like that. And basically they're trying to get him, you know, like cheer up pretty much, right? Because, you know, he said he's supposed to help the young Wally, you know, do his like schoolwork, stuff like that, but he already did it, you know. And basically like when they're doing that, you know, they're all talking, right? You know, and basically when that happens, like there's these fire trucks, right? These fire trucks, they just come flying by, and basically there's this fire that just happened, right? And like as soon as he does that, as soon as he like, you know, finds out where the fire is and stuff like that, pretty much Wally, you know, he's like looking at the news, right? And he like looks at it and he's like, oh, this Star Labs transport van just got attacked, like what's going on there? And basically Barry, he's just like conflicted. He's like, okay, do I go here and fix this fire, or do I go and help the Star Labs transport? Oh man, like what do I do? You know, stuff like that. And basically he just runs to the fire, because what he's gonna try to do is he's gonna try to help everybody at the fire, you know, and get all of that settled, and then just run to the Star Labs transport. So like he runs, right? And like soon as, while he's doing that, he's just like running straight, and he's just like taking all these people out of it. Like he's not gonna try to like take out the fire. He's just gonna let, like, because it's like raining, because he's gonna let the rain and, you know, the fire trucks and all that stuff try to take out the fire. But he's just trying to get all these people, right? And then this woman, the one woman that he saves, is like, oh, my kids are in there, you gotta go get the kids. So he has to run back in there, grab the kids. And like while that's going on at the Star Labs transport van, these attackers, right? They're like science terrorists, right? They like end up taking a hostage, and like basically what August Hart does, because he's there, he's telling them, you know, okay, well, don't take the hostage, take me, I'm a cop, like don't I make for a better hostage, you know, stuff like that, trying to get the hostage out of the hands of these guys, right? And like Barry, he's still at the fire, just like, you know, just trying to get all this stuff, like he's trying to get everything situated, and like he knows he's trying to like be fast enough, but he feels like he won't be. So while he's doing that, like these science terrorists, right? They're just like looking at this guy. They're like looking at August, right? No guns drawn on him. They're about to put this guy on the ground. They're about to put his brains on the wall. And basically, like soon as they soon as they shoot, Barry, he's just like running. He is hauling ass, like he is going, trying to get there, and he feels like he's gonna be too late. And like soon as they shoot the bullet, right? August gets slapped with lightning. Like he just gets slapped with lightning, and like while Barry's like running, right? He's like running. He's like, "Whoa, what just happened? Like, are you okay? You know, stuff like that." And basically, like he goes over like how it was when he first got hit with the lightning. You know, he's talking about, oh, like everything slowed down, like everything was going slow. You know, I was just like no moving normal. You know, stuff like that. And basically, like it wore off, right? And that's when we find out August just ran through and just like started destroying these guys. Like he has the speed, like he's connected to the speed force. Like he is running like super fast. Like even Barry's like having a hard time like comprehending where he's going. Like he is going quick, and like he takes these guys out real quick. And that's when we find out he's actually a speedster now. He has powers of the powers of the speed force. So with that going on, right? Like a little bit later, like you know, like later, like probably like the next day or so. We actually find out that Barry's actually training him, right? So he's training August, and you know, August, he's having trouble, you know, like trying to figure out how to do it. You know, he's having trouble, you know, making tornadoes with his hand, you know, like where he Barry like spins his hand real fast, and you know, it makes like a wind current, you know, stuff like that. And like he's trying to do that, and, you know, Barry's trying to teach him all this stuff. You know, he's trying to teach him how to like phase through walls, you know, stuff like that. Talking about how like if he vibrates fast enough, he can just like, you know, phase through a wall, you know. And talking about like all these different things that, you know, he learned how to do, you know, using his speed, right? So what we actually find out that August Hart knows. He's like talking to Barry. He's like, oh yeah, man, this is kind of cool. Like I actually have a friend, you know, like he was struck by lightning too, you know, like stuff like that. And Barry's like, oh, is that so? And August is just like, yeah, like he got hit by lightning too, and yeah, like it's kind of rare that happens, you know, and stuff like that. And he's basically like looking at him. He's like, okay, I know your secret and stuff like that. And basically Barry's like, oh, well, I mean, you know, and then he's like, okay, and August just like, oh, well, yeah, okay, well, I just want to say you're a good friend, Barry, you know, stuff like that. Basically, like, you know, like letting them know that he knows that it's Barry Allen. And Barry, he's still trying to like throw it off, but he's like, okay, like I think he bro got me. Like he knows I'm Barry or whatever, man. But I keep this identity because, you know, like I actually want to keep people safe, you know, stuff like that. And August Hart, he's like against it. He's like, okay, man, I don't need an identity. Like I'm in danger all the time anyway. I'm a cop. Like I get shot at for like on a daily basis. This isn't anything new to me. Like why do I need an identity, you know, stuff like that. So what we actually find out from there is we actually go to the young Wally West, right? And the young Wally West, he's like running himself. Like he has like the lightning behind him. Like he is booking it. Like we actually found out that he was hit with the Speed Force Storm too, and now he has Speed Force powers. So there's 2 new speedsters already in this story, and it's only been like 2 minutes. So I don't know. This is kind of weird. But so basically from there we get Iris West, right? So Iris, she's like walking up to these guards, right? They're guarding the Star Labs, the Star Labs, and basically she's like asking these guys questions, right? And they're telling her to get up out of here. Like, what are you doing, lady? Get up out of here. You can't be here. Like, you're not supposed to be here. And she's like steady asking these questions. And like one of the guards, he like leans in and he's like, okay, well, this is, you know, between you and me, right? Like there's these like scientists, right? They were basically fired from here last year, right? This dude named Dr. Carver. Go and see him, you know, see what he knows, you know, stuff like that. So basically that's where she like takes off. And we actually find out one of these guys actually works with Dr. Carver. Like he has people in the police force. And basically this guy, he calls Dr. Carver and lets him know what's going on, lets him know that she's looking for him, you know, stuff like that. So basically from there we actually see Barry and August talking, right? So they're talking, and like while they're doing that, they end up they're basically like talking about how they can't like trying to basically like get revenge, you know, like hey, they have all this power, they can basically, you know, like do whatever they want, you know, stuff like that. So he's basically like the thing about August Hart, right? So Barry, when he's a speedster, he does stuff by the book, you know. He's not just gonna like go and do anything, you know, just because he can, right? He does it, you know, like if it's, you know, legal, you know, stuff like that. He doesn't go out for revenge. He doesn't go out, you know, like taking advantage of stuff just because he can, you know, like stuff like that. And that's what we'll actually see that. Like we'll see because August, he's talking about basically just like going to find these guys, you know, just like going to do whatever. And Barry's just like, no, we need a search warrant, man. We can't just like go and do that. And like while they're talking, basically the results from the for the Star Labs crime scene came back, and they found nothing. So basically what Barry wants to do is go back there and look and see if they can actually find something, right? Because they're both speedsters, you know. If they were to both go, you know, they can find stuff like super fast, like it you know, like no time at all. It'll just snap with your fingers and they're out. They've already like, you know, like searched the entire area to see if they can find anything, you know, stuff like that. So basically they end up leaving. Kirsten and the other guy end up leaving, and basically they start talking about, you know, like their powers again, you know, stuff like that, and basically like talking about how August, if he had these powers when his brother was killed, he basically could have gotten revenge already. Like he's trying to live above the law, basically. You know, like he got his powers, it's basically like corrupted him already, and he's only had it for like a day. So like this dude right here is just like wilding. But yeah, and like Barry, he's trying to like talk him down. You know, he's trying to like, oh, we can't do that, man. Like, come on now, like we're good guys, we're heroes. We can't live above the law. We have to, you know, do things by the book, right? Do things by the book. We have to go get a search warrant if we want to go and find these guys. You know, all that kind of different stuff. So basically, Iris ends up calling, right? So we see Iris call, and basically she asks for August. Like she calls him, you know, she calls Barry and asks for August, and she actually asks August if he can help her with the Star Labs case, right? Because Barry never tells her anything. Like he doesn't, you know, go around telling any of the case files, like none of that stuff. Like she asks him, he can't tell her any of that stuff. So basically she calls August to, you know, see if he knows anything. And while she's on the phone with him, there's a van that pulls up next to her, right? This van pulls up next to her, and they're like, oh, well, you Iris West? And she like walks over, she's like, and like, so she does that, these guys jump out of the van and just like snatch her up. So she just got kidnapped. They just drug her in the back of the van and they just took off. They're flying. As soon as they as soon as that happens, you know, August, you know, he's still on the phone with her, and he's like, oh, what just happened? What was that? I think she just got kidnapped. So they just take off. Both of them, they just book it, and they just like start chasing this van. You know, Barry, he tells August to like wait, because August, he isn't in uniform, like none of that. He isn't in costume, none of that stuff. Like he's just August Hart out there just running. So basically, like he tells him to wait. You know, like so August waits. And basically, when Barry gets in there, August, she like kicks the door open. Like this lady got legs for days. Like she kicks the back door open, right? And she like jumps out and she like lands in Barry's arm, and he like takes her away so he can. And she like lands in Barry's arm, and he like takes her away so she to like keep her safe pretty much. And he like runs back up to this van, right? So when he runs back up to this van, right? Like one of these guys is actually talking to Dr. Carver, and Dr. Carver's like, oh well, use the gun, like he's here, like use it, like that's what we made it for, use the gun. And basically like they whip out this gun, right, and they shoot some black lightning at Barry Allen, and it just like stops him in his tracks completely. And like while they're like getting ready to like, you know, like kill it, like they're getting ready to like kill Barry, August Hart runs up. He has a uniform on, like he has a costume on, he has like these goggles, different clothes, like he's ready to fight. And he like goes in there and takes these guys out super quick. And he like and the one thing that Barry notices while he's there is basically charging himself back up. Like it's basically charging Barry Allen. Like while August is standing near him, it's basically, you know, like healing him. You know, like he's basically like getting more connected to the Speed Force, right? So after all that, right, Iris, she walks up, right, and like she's talking, like all of them are talking pretty much, you know, they're basically all talking, you know, talking about like who she's trying to figure out who this guy is, you know, she's trying to figure out who August is, because like, and, you know, because like she's like asking him like, who's this dude, and Barry's like, oh well, he's just new here, like he like ignore that, like you don't know him, you know, stuff like that. And while they're doing that, another storm picks up, another Speed Force storm picks up, and it just starts hitting everybody. It hits so many different people, and like if you look at this picture, there are so many like actual like silhouettes that you could see. All those people are speedsters now, and that's not even all of them. There's like hundreds of these guys. They were just all getting zapped. And basically now Barry has to basically like round these guys up, like he has to like round these guys up or train them or whatever. I don't know, like he has to do something. There's way too many of these guys. So if you're new to the channel, leave a like. If you enjoyed the if you're new to the if you enjoyed the story, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I appreciate you coming to Comic Book Cheese for all your comic book needs, and I will see y'all in the next one.